I have a question for you, and it's one that's older than anyone alive today. It's a topic of intense study, it comes up in day-to-day conversations all the time, and it's one of the leading causes of existential crises in humans of any age. Suppose you're thinking along the lines of, oh, it's only 3 words, how much damage can it really cause? Answer me in the comments then. Who are you? Good morning, Starborn. My name is Nyte Myst. Let's talk for a moment.
What do you mean the bell pepper has eyeballs?
Wrapping up the mind-consuming question of who are you in with the idea of content creation might seem like a ridiculous idea to many and a perfectly logical path for a few. Creative work draws from who you are as a person, the experiences you've had, and what hopes and dreams you wish to develop for your future self. DougDoug's guide video goes into far greater detail on the intricacies of self-inquiry, with the specific end goal of creating content in mind. There will forever be a part of you in your work, and one of the most interesting, albeit unintended, results of starting this journey is looking yourself down to the core. And bit by bit, you'll start to truly see the patchwork canvas that makes up the fabric of your being. It can be a painful yet relieving process as you analyze the patterns of what you enjoy consuming and doing. With even a modicum of self-awareness, you can begin to let go of the expectations that didn't serve your needs and goals in the first place. The easiest person to analyze is, of course, oneself, so we'll use my own meandering path for today's story. I made the conscious choice to study art when I was 12. I thought I'd be a comic artist as a professional, and I dedicated a lot of time and money to studying, only to realize that every attempt at commercialization drained me of my love of creation, and at some point, my will to live. Anxiety is no laughing matter, and I could make an entire rant video dedicated to my utter disdain for the romanticization of mental illnesses, but I'll save that for another time and place. In any case, drawing and illustration have been a core part of my existence for as long as I've been a creative, so imagine my shock and sadness as I slowly came to the realization that it's not what I meant to do for content. Arriving to that conclusion was the direct result of the first step of Doug's process, writing down every single thing, be it media, hobby, franchise, artist, game, anything that you enjoy, and immediately coming behind and asking yourself what specifically about those things holds your affection. The first pattern that I clocked is that I love building things that require mass amounts of fine detail work, like gunpla, building PC towers, various needlecrafts, and even in my art, the lighting process was always my favorite part because of all of the details I could add. Even non-physical things like world building, collaborative storytelling, and story composition present a puzzle that I love finding a solution to every single time. It makes my brain absolutely light up with creative fervor, even in the perspective of creating regular content. So, aspect 1, detail work, making something new from existing materials. But there needs to be a second face to this coin. The other half of this over-analytical puzzle is a tad more personal, and it took me a few tries to find the right words to describe it. But it's a side effect of storytelling, and something that one might not even consider right off the bat. I'm speaking specifically about crafting emotionally stimulating experiences. The concept is incredibly vast and covers anything from visual effects to model art and expressions to music to the exact cadence with which I speak, even down to the order that this yarn ball of a script is written. The realization that you have control over every single part of the process can make or break a content creator, especially if you're starting out as a team of one. Sure, you can go on autopilot and hope that your subconscious will come up with just the right asset to use. But one of the reasons I know I'll be posting less frequently than most is ensuring that I create to the best of my ability. Within 80%, of course. Perfection is a fever dream, so learning to let go and accept what I can and cannot do helps me realize the power that I already wield. Brutal honesty doesn't have to be violent, so perhaps blunt is a better word then. Speaking of forwardness, let's move on to my personal goals for the channel as a whole, and what you can expect for upcoming content. Now that I'm in school again, and having to be realistic with how much time I can spend making said content, I've got at least one full video a month planned out for the next year, with shorts to fill in some of the gaps in between. A lot of it is going to be centered around world building and crafting items from said world. For example, making and altering clothes and everyday items with specific characters or aesthetics in mind, or going over how one might generate written ideas and use personal experiences rather than an over-reliance on AI. I'll be concluding each of my future videos with actionable items that you can take and use to develop your own stories and worlds. And the shorts that follow those videos will be applying those self-same concepts that we discuss. I'm incredibly excited to see the sheer amount of ideas and applications that these two broad strokes can create. And I do hope that you'll want to stick around for the journey. We're going to make something Nova together. I just know it. It was a pleasure to meet you, Starborn. I've been Nyte Myst, and I'll see you in space. Until next time. Oh, that was positively nerve-wracking. At least the band-aid's been ripped off. Oh, you're still here. If you've got a moment and enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and turning notifications on. It's free, just a few clicks, and easy to undo if you decide that I'm not quite in your tastes. If you're looking for other ways to support me and upcoming projects, I've got a Patreon with both free and paid tiers if that tickles your fancy. Finally, we've got an active Discord server that you can find in the description as well. Hope to see you all there.